All right, let's just dive right into this explainer of James Kerr's absolutely phenomenal book, Legacy. Today, we're going to uncover the unbelievable leadership secrets of the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team. But look, this isn't just an explainer about sports, okay? It's really about how the strategies of literally one of the most dominant teams in history apply directly to the business of life, to your career, and honestly to your own personal growth.
87%. Just let that sink in for a second. That staggering number represents the All Blacks' win rate over a century of playing the game. Over 100+ years, they have maintained an 87% victory rate. That cements them as one of the most successful sports dynasties in human history. So the absolute crucial point here is figuring out exactly how they do it. I mean, how do you build an organization that sustains that level of elite performance across multiple generations?
Well, the book outlines 15 distinct lessons, but instead of dragging you through a fatiguing list, we're going to use this structural blueprint to break their winning culture down into 4 really powerful pillars: character and inner drive, cultivating the tribe, thriving under pressure, and leaving your mark.
Okay, so let's move right into our first pillar, character and inner drive, which is really your internal foundation.
This whole foundation starts with one incredibly simple phrase: sweep the sheds. This is lesson 1, and it is entirely about humility. See, in the All Blacks culture, even the absolute most senior, world-famous superstars on the team will grab a broom, sweep the sheds, and clean up after themselves when a match is over. It's a fundamental rule. It proves that in leadership, you are never too big, and you are definitely never too important to do the small things that need to get done. If you want to lead, you've got to be willing to get on the ground and do the work right alongside everyone else.
So building on that character, you've got to have some serious core internal drivers. First up, you have to know your why. You need a massive purpose. Look, if you don't have a strong enough purpose to get out of bed in the morning, you're just not going to sustain success. For the All Blacks, their massive why at one point was to cure their old choker title. They had stumbled in big moments for years, so their purpose was to shed that label once and for all and win back-to-back World Cups, which, by the way, they did. Next, you've got to be authentically yourself. Know your flaws, know your strengths, and actually play to them. Nobody does you better than you. And finally, sacrifice. If you want to be at the top of your field, you have to realize that champions do extra. You literally have to go that extra mile every single day and give just a little bit more than the next person is willing to.
And that perfectly sets up pillar number 2, cultivating the tribe, or interacting with others.
To do this, they lean heavily on this concept of wano. It's the Maori word for family. In a business or organizational sense, it means keeping your circle super tight and intentionally surrounding yourself with people who are actively going to lift you higher. The family you create around yourself is incredibly important for taking you to the next level. You want to be dealing with people who are pushing you up, not people who are going to drag you down.
But to fiercely protect that wana, the team strictly enforces what they literally call the no dickheads rule. I know, it is exactly what it sounds like. They ensure toxic individuals simply are not allowed in the circle. Period, no matter how talented they might be. Why? Because toxic people will inevitably drag the collective down. You have to protect the tribe at all costs.
Now, inside that tight, protected circle, leadership is absolutely not about hoarding power. Their philosophy is that leaders take responsibility to create other leaders, and that teachers are leaders. You've got to pave the pathway to make it accessible for others to step up. And that means creating a truly authentic environment where your team is actually allowed to learn from their mistakes. If you mess up, show that you're human, be authentic about it, and let others learn from that experience. Honestly, that is how you lift the whole tribe.
So the actual formula for bringing this tribe together is super clear. High expectations combined with a shared language equals outstanding results. You have to set massive expectations for yourself so you can hit them, and massive expectations for your team so they can rise to the occasion. But here's the really interesting part: the language. The language you use with yourself continually shapes exactly who you become. If you use negative language, you're going to get negative outcomes, for sure. So you must create a positive, shared organizational lingo. It's like a unique linguistics within your tribe that defines exactly who you are and where you're going.
Which brings us to our third pillar, thriving under pressure. Basically, the battlefield of business and life.
The strategy here really comes down to a 3-step process. First, look for the gap. Even if things are going 100% right for you, eventually everyone else is going to start catching up to where you are. So you have to be adaptable, constantly looking for that new gap or edge to continue improving. Second, train to win through extreme preparation. You have to consistently put yourself under immense pressure in practice so that when the real challenge comes, you can handle it no matter what.
And third, maintain a cool head. Because you've prepared under pressure, you can think on your feet, think with clarity, and make the right decisions when the stakes are at their absolute highest. But here's the thing. You don't just magically maintain a cool head, right? You need systems. To support this peak performance state, you absolutely must establish daily rituals. Things like meditating, saying affirmations, journaling, or exercising. You have to ask yourself right now, what rituals do you do on a daily basis that are actually going to take you to the next level? Creating and sticking to these rituals puts you in the exact mindset needed to actualize your biggest goals.
Finally, we reach our fourth and final pillar, leaving your mark, the ultimate conclusion.
This introduces a really beautiful Maori concept called whakapapa. It's the concept of ancestry or lineage. It challenges you to look way past your current day-to-day goals and truly think about what seeds you are planting right now for a future that you will never even see. It's all about building a lineage that completely outlasts you.
Which all culminates perfectly in Lesson 15 and the actual title of the book, Legacy. What are you doing right now to create that whakapapa? What mark are you actively leaving on the earth today? Because leadership isn't just about what you accomplish while you're here in the room. It is fundamentally about what remains after you step away.
So, I want to leave you with a final kind of provocative question. What will your eulogy say? Seriously, I challenge you to actually go through the exercise of sitting down and writing out exactly what you want your eulogy to say. Read it back to yourself. Does it ring true right now based on how you are living and leading today? And if it doesn't, how are you going to change your course starting right now to ensure you leave an amazing legacy? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Now get out there and sweep the sheds.